how are you?
I'm so good. I can't believe it's day 2 of Young Women Run already. How are you feeling?
I am feeling so good. I had such a wonderful day yesterday and woke up so excited for day 2 of this conference. Everyone else missed it, but the countdown music is super fun. So me and Sarah are always dancing and just super hyped for today.
It is some good hype music. Well, welcome everybody. If you are here with us today, it is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021. We are here closing out Women's History Month at Ignite's Young Women Run Conference. Our theme is "The Time Is Now," and our lives depend on it. I don't know about any of you, but I've seen a lot of people reflecting this past year, and I really, really hope that none of us actually go back to that old normal that really was not really serving a lot of us. And I think over the past year, COVID has really unearthed all of the systemic issues, from racial injustice to economic gaps to our flailing health system, that I think that there is a new path forward for all of us to build better. Good morning, everybody. We're going to get our slides up, but I see folks are from Pennsylvania, from South Carolina, all over the place. Wow.
So exciting.
Jen, we could go to slide 3. Thank you.
Amazing. So just like Sarah was just saying, the theme of this conference is really representative of the purpose of Ignite, and the time is now for women across the country to step into their political power and create spaces where the table at which important decisions are being made are actually representative of the diversity of identities and perspectives across the country. And that's really what Ignite is all about. It's about building and fostering these spaces and empowering a movement of young women who are ready and eager to become the next generation of women leaders. Honestly, my favorite thing about Ignite is its commitment to building a diverse community of young women, but also building a community of diverse young women who listen and learn and inspire and connect with and empower each other.
And there were a lot of pieces, Julia P., I think, in the conversation we heard with Monica and Anna yesterday, about how we need to listen better as communities and really how we can change that for all of us.
Yes, and as Anna said so beautifully yesterday, listening is the best form of allyship, and I could not agree more. Let's see. So in talking about political leadership and the variety of spaces that women can occupy as political leaders, we want to make sure with this conference that our approach to building leadership and empowering women is holistic. And that really comes through in our tracks. So there are a variety of spaces, like I just said, that women can occupy seats of power, whether it's running for office, whether it's serving on a board or commission, whether it's leading campaign strategy, making policy, facilitating changes in activists, or participating in the democratic process of voting. And so our approach is really to allow the opportunity to explore your passion collectively by listening to women who have served in these seats of power, by networking with them, by asking them questions, and who can tell you their stories and as women in these spaces and support your own journey. So I'm super excited for that today. And to hear from all our amazing keynote speakers, as well as all the amazing breakout tracks that Ignite has set up for us in our agenda today.
Amazing. Thank you, Julia P. I see lots of folks really streaming in from all sorts of the country and thinking about who is a political leader and how each of us really step into that. I'm really excited for all of you to continue to step into your next path in this crazy journey that we're all living in. We have so many people to be grateful for that are supporting us for the work we're doing at Ignite and specifically at the conference. So I just want to recognize EMC Research, who you may have seen in the candidate and campaign tracks. You'll continue to see them today. We're also super grateful for our sponsorship from Facebook. You'll also see them in the tracks. And then right after this, you will hear from our friends at JP Morgan Chase and Company, Women on the Move. Super grateful for their sponsorship, as well as AT&T and Levi Strauss and Company. And then really quick, there's like spaces on the app where you can find their icon and like literally just click on it and learn more about any of these organizations if you didn't know about them prior to our time together today. Next up, I'd like to just thank our team. We have quite the dream team at Ignite. It's very exciting to hop into Zoom every day and know that these are the beautiful faces that we get to meet with and cultivate this next generation of political leaders. So you can meet and network with our team throughout the entire conference. And just want to super shout out Jashani, our phenomenal comms manager, who really helped set up this entire framework for us to really enjoy each other's company the next couple days. And then we also have a number of our staff and folks that were in our conference planning committee, Julia P. being one of our phenomenal fellows that has really helped us design what this experience looks like. So thank you all so much for the support that you've done, all the visioning, all the execution of putting together panels and getting speakers. I'm just really grateful for this beautiful team.
And just real quickly, thank you so much, Sarah and Tiara, for your vision of how this conference should feel and serve the Ignite community, and the light and energy and commitment to seeing that vision through, and the thoroughness and dedication and thoughtfulness with this whole conference of Joan and Dashani in organizing how participants navigate and interact throughout this conference. Just wanted to put that in real quick, but
yes, we have to recognize Queen Joan.
Oh my gosh.
You won't see her, but she's here, everybody. And that's the only reason we're breathing and moving today.
Yes, quite literally. But let's get this chat box fired up. I am so excited. I had so much fun engaging with so many people yesterday, and I know that energy and momentum will just continue. So I just want to ask, what are some ways you can engage with each other today? And you can just drop those answers into the chat box.
Amy wrote, make connections with participants both near and far from her geographic location.
Yes. And that is like the beauty of having this conference virtually, because there are people from all across the country that ordinarily, I don't think many of us would have the opportunity to meet.
No. And then Kathleen wrote, join the Wonder Room networking events and share resources and contact information with all the other attendees. The Wonder Room is wonderful. Oh, such corny morning.
Yes, I love that, Anna. Get that LinkedIn fired up. That definitely when I entered today, I definitely really wanted to ask questions and connect with people in all the amazing networking sessions, but also follow up and build sustainable relationships, because this is just such an excellent opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I think a lot of people asked yesterday, Julia P., how they could stay connected with the speakers. Mm-hmm. So there is a whole attendee list. So you can connect with them that way. And I think there's an instant way that you can connect on LinkedIn too. So don't leave the conference without grabbing all of those connections.
Yes. Let's see. I added all my contact info and social media to my profile. That is such a good idea, Kathleen. I'm going to do that too. That is awesome. So yeah, if you want to add your contact info, social media to your profile, that way people can easily access how to contact you. That, again, such a great idea, Kathleen. And thank you all so much for dropping the ways you plan on engaging in the chat box. I definitely feel the energy and excitement today, and I'm so excited for this second day of our conference. And the next slide will really just give a brief tutorial of how to navigate the app and the sessions with the Ignite Young Women Run 2021 conference app, which you still have time to download if you haven't yet. But with the app, you use the menu on the left to navigate the platform, and the agenda will list all the available sessions, oh my goodness, and networking opportunities for you to participate in today. And you just click join and you can add them to your schedule. That way you have a nice little arrangement of everything you plan to make out of this conference today. And just join the live stream, and it makes it super easy and accessible for you to, again, know what you're going to be doing today and join whatever's going on. And then if you need any help, we have our fabulous Ignite staff at the live help desk ready to support and help you with any technology issues you may experience. And then there are also so many other cool features with this app. Again, shout out to Deshani and Joan for creating such a cool and fun interactive space. The first is attending network sessions with leaders. So there are so many open networking sessions that you can attend, and the leaders will be positioned almost as if they're at little tables, and you just navigate your little icon to each table. You join circles of other participants and can just engage in really candid and inspiring conversations with them. You can play the event games and get on the leaderboard to win the grand prize. So we have lots of people with 200 points. I think it is Carolyn has 200 today, as well as Myra. So that is really amazing. Keep earning those points. The ways to earn those points are actually under the challenges icon. So you can do so through making connections, by answering trivia questions, going to keynote live streams, etc. And then posting on the wall to interact with other attendees is a super fun way just to update everyone on how your day's going. So if you just attended a really cool networking session, or we're really feeling the energy of the keynote speaker, feel free to post on the wall about it. I'm sure lots of people will like and support that. So yes, and I think Sarah was going to mention.
Yeah, so we want to hear how everything is going for folks. And so in each session at the very bottom, there's actually a survey link. So if you can actually help us get some more feedback, it's literally going to take 30 seconds. It's just a couple drop downs and a couple strongly agrees. So please do that after each of the sessions today to keep giving us some feedback. I think some of you may have joined us for our National Young Women Vote conference last year, but this is our first Young Women Run virtual conference, and we'd love to get as much feedback as humanly possible within that. So we are going to transition and move away from our time together, and then you'll see both of us again later this afternoon. So have a super phenomenal day. I can't wait to hear how people connected, got inspired, and really built some fabulous networks and got the skills they need to really take on their paths to political leadership. And so next up, I am so excited to welcome Alicia Smith, our New York fellow, who will be leading us in our next Fireside Chat. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon and good morning. My name is Alicia Smith, and I'm the New York Fellow for Ignite, and I'm so excited to be talking to you all. You know, as we all go on to become the next campaign operative, policymaker, activist, elected official, and more, it is going to be so important for us to invest in our finances and really set the foundation for our future. So it is my honor to introduce this next Fireside Chat with you all with Kira Forbes in partnership with JP Morgan Chase & Co., Women on the Move. Kira Forbes is the Inclusive Investing VP with Black and Latinx lead for JP Morgan Chase, and she will be sharing a wealth of knowledge about investing and really just giving all of her insight to us. So in the chat box, let's give a warm welcome to Kira Forbes. Hi, Kira.
Hi, Alicia. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining us. I would love if you could just tell us a little bit more about who you are and why investing is important.
Yes, definitely. So, first, thank you again, Alicia and the Ignite team, for having me. I think that the more I learn about this organization, the cause is such an important one. And I believe too, women need to be in the room where decisions are being made. So, I'm honored to be able to spend this time with you, such a great group of ambitious young future leaders. So, a little bit about me. I am on the inclusive investing team at JP Morgan Chase. And the mission of inclusive investing is really to make JP Morgan Wealth Management the firm of choice for diverse communities that have been historically underrepresented in investment participation. So there is a known investment gap in the country that spans across gender and ethnicities. Research by the Federal Reserve shows that 33% of Black households hold any stock, and that's compared to 61% of white households. And we also know that Hispanic households are participating at an even lower rate. So, my role specifically is to understand the needs and the challenges of the Black and Latinx communities when it comes to investing, and to design experiences and solutions that really make it easy and engaging for those communities to become long-term investors and confidently implement investment strategies to help achieve their goals. Ultimately, my goal is to take steps towards closing the racial wealth gap while by helping to bridge this investing gap.
And thank you, Kira, for sharing that information with us. And if anything that we say or anything Kira says resonates with you all, please drop it in the chat box. We would love to know. So, Kira, I'd love to get started by just asking, how do you know when it's the right time to invest, or even like what is the right amount of money to start with when you're investing?
Yeah, absolutely. So before you start investing, you actually want to first check in on your personal finances. And there are three key things I'd say you want to establish. First is creating a budget so you know how much you can save and invest. And then, of course, that's after covering your expenses. Second, you want to pay off any high interest rate debt like credit cards because those interest rates are a killer and you don't want to have to be paying interest rates that could potentially offset any gains that you would even get in an investment account. And then third, setting up a rainy day fund or 3 to 6 months of your expenses to cover you in case of any emergencies. Once you've established that healthy foundation of your personal finances, then you want to understand the different ways that you can start to invest. And a popular goal for long-term investing is investing for retirement. And that's actually a way that investors really get started is saving for retirement. So for those of you on the call that have already started to work full time, if your employer offers a retirement plan, such as a 401k, you want to take advantage of that. There are tax benefits associated with it, and you can actually contribute a percentage or a dollar amount directly from your paycheck into this account to begin investing. So you can set it up and forget it, and you're investing. And most companies will also offer to match a percentage of your contributions. And so if you're able to, you want to understand what that amount is and try to contribute at least up into that match, because at the end of the day, that is free money that the company is giving to you for you to be able to invest. Now, I understand those of you starting your political careers, or you might work for a municipality, you may not have an option to invest in 401k. So you want to find out what that employer sponsored plan is. And if there isn't one, you can still start to save for retirement by investing in an individual retirement account, also known as an IRA. Something important to note with retirement accounts is whether it's a 401k or an IRA, you're not able to access that amount in that cash until you are actually in retirement age, which I think is 59 and a half. random number, but if you want to save outside of your retirement goals, you can invest in a general investment account, and that can be through a brokerage or a managed account. These are very easy to set up, and you can do it yourself online. Most brokerage firms offer no minimum, so you can start investing in as little as $50. And then there's also other accounts, also known as a robo-advisory, that are fully managed. So you just contribute your money into that account and it's invested automatically in a portfolio for you. And these do have minimums, but they're relatively low, say around $500. So Alicia, back to your original question. When I was younger, I thought investing was only for the rich or only if you had a big chunk of cash to get started. The short answer is once you've established those good financial habits and that foundation, then the next step is for you to start investing. And of course, the earlier you can start, the better. But you also want to focus on making consistent contributions into those accounts, no matter how small it is, so you can really start to put the money to work for you. And I know we only have a little bit of time today, so I just encourage everyone, if you want to start to invest and really want to go step by step, I touched on a few of those today, but Chase has a great educational journey called the 7 Steps to Investing on the Chase website that you can use, and it really breaks down those steps for you. Or you can check in with your own financial service provider and see what educational resources are available.
Okay. And so thank you for sharing. And do you feel like, as young women, a lot of us on the call are maybe in school or starting in the workplace. Is there a common type of investment that we should start off with or that we should look into first?
Yeah, so it's not always a one size fits all approach when it comes to investing. And if you want to take a step back, it really also starts with understanding what your goals are and what you're using your money to fund. So I know there was a session yesterday on financial health. And so think back to that session and think about the goals. You want to ask yourself, what are my goals? And not just, I want to save 6 figures by the time I'm 30. But what type of lifestyle do you want? Maybe you want to own 2 rental properties, or maybe in your first year of retirement, you want to travel abroad that entire year, or maybe you're saving for your children's education. Think about your goals and making it very tangible so you know what you're investing for, how much money you need to be able to achieve those goals, and then also when you would need to access the money. Knowing that timeline of when you need to reach your goals will help you assess the risk appetite. And risk appetite essentially is just your level of comfort knowing that the value of your assets could fluctuate up and down with the market. This understanding will then help you guide you in choosing the right types of investment products. So I'll go through a few of them at a high level. If your goal is shorter term, you may want to make most of your investments in a more stable product like a bond. Those are less sensitive to market fluctuations, but they also do tend to have a lower rate of return. So you want to know that going in. On the other hand, you can invest in stocks. This has more risk associated with it, but they also tend to have a higher rate of return. So there's a little bit of a trade-off there. But with stocks, if you have a longer time horizon for reaching your goals, your assets will have more time to bounce back from any economic downturns. A few others I'll mention include ETFs and mutual funds. Those are both essentially baskets of stocks and bonds and other investments because they're generally. All right, maybe back. Sorry, I needed my thing timed out. Because they're generally made up of diversified mix of investments, they can offer less risk than an individual bond or an individual stock. So for example, you could want to invest in an individual stock like Apple, but you could also invest in a technology ETF that gives you a diversified portfolio of tech companies such as Apple, Google, and Amazon. And so I know I'm only going to scratch the surface today, but just going back to the resource I mentioned earlier, that will also give you a breakdown of the different types of investments. So I encourage you all to do research after today. But I also really want to mention this point. Having a basic level of understanding of the different types of investments can help you make smart decisions based on your goals, again, your timeline and your risk appetite. But you don't have to know everything about an investment for you to be able to make that first step. I know I'm speaking to an ambitious group of women that like to have all of their facts before making a decision. But think about it this way. You don't need to know all of the different parts of a car and how they work to be able to safely drive and safely reach your final destination.
Yeah, no, thank you, Kira, for sharing that. And I was just taking a little bit of notes, as I know everyone else is too. And the link has been shared in the chat box if you would like to learn more about how to start investing. So one thing, I'm sure we all love to know is there any piece of financial advice that you wish you had known when you were younger that you can share with us today?
So first, I'm going to say kudos to everyone on the call because you're already doing something that I wish I had done, which is attending a session on investing. Looking back, I do wish that I had made an investment budget and contributed more of my paycheck into my retirement account. So when I first started investing, when I first started my first job out of college, I did enroll in my company's 401k, but I contributed very conservative amounts. And that was really because I did not have a set budget for investing. And I was very excited to be working and having a steady paycheck and being able to spend it on shoes and clothes and handbags. At the time, I worked for a retail company, so sample sales were a regular thing, and my paycheck did go to that. But when I decided to contribute a higher amount, it was harder for me because I was so used to having a certain amount of spending, and I really had to curb my spending. So I would recommend, whether you're investing in a retirement or a general investment account, set up those automatic contributions so you don't get used to having a certain amount in your checkings account and you don't feel the absence of that when you do start investing. If I were to offer a second piece of advice, it would be to understand the full benefits that your employer offers. So a lot of times we can be very laser focused on the paycheck, but that's only one way to cover your expenses and grow your wealth. Other offerings like pension plans or health savings accounts, employee stock purchase plans can also help you meet your financial objectives. So when you start working, whether it's in your orientation, you're just reviewing the benefits online, it's important to know what those options are, when and how you can get started, and then also how long you need to be with the company to take full advantage. So, for example, with a 401k, there's a vesting date. And if you leave the company before that date, you might not be able to get the full value of that employer match.
Yeah, no, this is all really important knowledge to know. So we did have a question in the chat box from Kathleen. She asks, Kira, what is your take on the historically low share of wealth, 3.2%, I believe, held by millennials as they enter in their 30s? Is that a gap that needs to be addressed as well?
Yeah, so I think it definitely is. And it goes back to how you learn about investing growing up. So a point I'll make is more and more we are seeing a shift in wealth to younger generations, and how the younger generations use that wealth will be very beneficial to themselves, to the economy. And so there is a gap in understanding how to use your investments in a smart way. And that's why we really focus on building your investments to tie back into your goals. So I just underline, when it comes to investing, to tie back to your goals and making sure that you set yourself up right for retirement.
Okay, thank you, Kira. And I know this was such a short chat, but thank you for sharing your information. And before we move on, is there any other resources that we can look into as attendees today when it comes to investing?
Definitely. So outside of the Chase resources, and thanks for sharing that, the SEC investor.gov website offers some great content for those that are starting out on their investing journey. And then again, check with your financial service provider and see what educational hubs are offered on their website. But we all have our own preference for how we like to learn and take in new information, whether that's reading books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, following influencers on social media platforms. There's something out there for you, no matter which way you like to get that. And a resource that I personally use that I think really does a great job of covering all those bases is Clever Girl Finance by Bola Sakunbi. Bola and the Clever Girl team offer free courses online, different worksheets, and a podcast. There's also a new book focusing on investing, and there are experts that tell stories and give advice, really all with the lens of empowering young women to meet their financial needs.
Yes, and thank you again so much, Kira. We definitely appreciate all of your knowledge, as well as this partnership with JP Morgan, Chase & Co., Women on the Move. And I believe we will be heading into our next part of the day. And we'll be hearing from our Chief Program Officer, Tiara Stewart.
Yes, thank you, Alicia. What an important conversation on financial wellness. I think with all the things that we want to really grow and develop, we must approach it with intention, which is what I heard. So between creating a budget, knowing what you are bringing in to create a safety net, saving enough money to survive in the midst of a crisis, and taking that first step to small investments, this could be overwhelming. And I know when I first started on this financial wellness journey, it was definitely overwhelming, and I put it off as long as possible. Especially if you grew up in an environment of survival and living paycheck to paycheck. So my advice is just to start small, even if it's less than 10% of your income. And every check you get, just set a small goal and then scale up each time. So it is that time again to connect with some movers and shakers, and more of an opportunity for you all to network with each other here at the conference. If you know how to get there, go ahead and go. I'll see you there. If not, I have some brief instructions to aid you in the process. So Sarah should be dropping the link in the chat. She hasn't already. You can click that link and it literally will take you straight there. If you need to get on another device, here are the instructions for you. You'll go back and you'll scroll to the session in the agenda. You're going to click the Networking with Women in Politics session and then click on the link that will take you again to Wonder Me. If you did not go to the earlier networking session, you will need to create your account, take a selfie, type in your name. It's really easy. You will be taken to the Ignite Movers and Shakers area. There are rooms, and it kind of look like boxes, or how Julia explained it earlier, as if you're moving from table to table. And all you're going to need to do is just take your icon and keep moving yourself around until you get into a room that you want to be in. And you may need to use the zoom in and out feature on the upper left side of the room to size it appropriately. Navigate to the various rooms to meet the different movers and shakers, and be sure to come with your questions. The last part about this, if there is a maximum amount of folks who can be within a space. And so if it is maxed out at 15, you can literally stay in a room and wait to be taken into the circle when someone leaves, or honestly, just go check out another circle. If you get lost, head over to the Ignite Help Room, and we have staff available to help you. I will see you all over there.